Coming to, the effect on India, especially because we will be interested in that. And there are these forecasts from the IMF, from the other credit rating agencies about India being, or economists had a cover that India is the only hope or will be a driver. With a caveat, of course, as usual, will Modi blow it? Was the caption there. So where are we as far as India is concerned? Are we facing headwinds or slowdown? How does one look at the next 12 months, let's say?
Again, let's look at pre-Feb and now, right? So there are many strengths that are underlying what I would call a very resilient economy in India. So the first is that the revival from COVID restrictions has actually been much better than what many feared, right? So there was this very attractive phrase that people use, K-shaped recovery, that the rich were doing well, the poor were somehow struggling, informal enterprises were struggling. Some of that I think is true, but I must emphasize that the revival in jobs and in that 8 to 15,000 rupees a month type of jobs in the last 4-5 months has been quite remarkable. Mm-hmm. So as schools have restarted, as railway stations have started working again, as travel and tourism has picked up, the revival in jobs has actually been far better than was anticipated. The second issue is that in an economy with very sharply or very, very steadily growing population and number of households, right? The number of households in India is growing at 2.5%. It is remarkable that for 10 years, mm-hmm. the dwelling construction market had been flat in nominal terms, right? So because of the excesses of the previous real estate cycle, which kind of faded in 2011-12, for almost 10 years, the dwelling construction market was going through a correction. It has started to now move up, and that can, just to give you perspective, construction, the output, the value of construction had fallen by nearly 5% of GDP.
Oh,
right, over this period, and it was in the last 10 years. And yes, and it had started to bottom out pre-COVID, and now it is starting to improve quite significantly from here. The third thing is that the worst affected part of lockdowns was the government itself, right? And particularly the state governments, because, as you know better than me, that everything is a physical file, Babu file lana, right? So, and if the work from home is impossible. And so therefore, construction work, repair of roads, repair of irrigation canals, and a lot of capex, which state governments do in the normal course of things, had stopped. And we are seeing in the last 2-3 months that they are starting to do that. They are being helped by accelerated formalization, which is actually helping tax revenue. So it is not really a fiscal space problem. It was actually an ability to spend problem. And that ability to spend is improving now. And then there are these 2-3 other factors. So manufacturing exports have been doing very well. India is gaining share in electronics, in specialty chemicals. It is gaining share in apparel. It had stalled for 7-8 years. It is picking up again. And then there is services. Services, what is remarkable is in the last 2 months, March and April, our net exports of services have hit a record high. The total invisibles, which we call, it's a very Indian name for net services exports, which was about 140, 145 in most people's forecast, could actually be 165, 170, right? So if wage hikes are given by, say, all the global software majors to their Indian employees, and that has actually happened in the last 2 years, last year in particular, that helps the terms of trade. And if anyone has to find 500,000 engineers anywhere in the world, they have to necessarily come to India. So all of these factors are very supportive of growth. So I would have said that real growth in the economy in FY23 would have been 3 to 4% points stronger than what consensus was at pre this conflict.
February.
Now,
pre-February.
now let's look at post-conflict, right? Now, the sad reality is that our energy imports are 4% of our GDP. So if gas prices, oil prices, coal prices, fertilizer prices, edible oil prices, all of them go up, it is a big drag on our growth. So I still think that we can grow at 9% plus real terms in FY23. Consensus has now fallen from about 9.5% to about 7% now. I still think that the growth will be better than what people expect, but it is definitely a challenge for us to offset this sharp increase in our energy import burden. And what it also does is it causes volatility, in the sense that you've seen that the rupee has now started to fall finally, and it had to. And when it does that, the realized inflation goes up, which then makes people uncertain and fear that the rate hikes could be quite strong, that the economy could slow down and even a lot more. And so there is I think I would say a 6-month period of macroeconomic volatility and uncertainty, which we need to go through, and then the economy can stabilize and start growing again.